My papers, my papers. Devin Haney and Ryan Norman Jr. will be fighting in November. Well, their first presser, they're going to kick off the press tour on Friday. So we're going to see them go face to face in a couple of days. And we already know, man, this is going to be a very competitive fight. Devin Haney's a special fighter. Ryan Norman Jr. is a special fighter. So we're in for one of those type of fights. Um, you already know my people. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Let's talk about it, my people. We gotta talk about it. This is a big, big fight. And you know what? The fact that they're starting the press tour in early July, it tells you that they're going to promote this fight the right way. Think about it. The fight's going to be in November, July, right? August, September, October, November. We're 4 months away from them actually fighting, and they're already about to hold the first pressure. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do an amazing job promoting. They're gonna promote this fight, and it's gonna be a good one, man. I'm telling you. I already know people predicting that Brian Norman Jr. is gonna win the fight. God, like, wow, what kind of motorcycle is that? Jesus Christ. I already, seen a lot of people predicting Brian Norman Jr. is going to win the fight. But then there's also folks saying Devin is going to make it happen. I think that, Brian Norman Jr. is going to be a very tough opponent for Devin Haney simply because his style. He's a guy who can apply the pressure on you to get you out of there, but he can also box. Brian Norman Jr., you watched him. Well, the last fight we couldn't see a lot, it was an explosive knockout. He got his opponent out of there quick. But if you watch, Brian Norman Jr., he can box, my people. He got hands. So this is not the type of fight where he has to brawl with Devin to win, or he has to get him out of there. Brian Norman Jr. can box, my people. So this is a tough, tough fight. And I was saying it earlier, Devin Haney, you gotta respect Devin Haney, my people, because for him to decide that he's going to fight in the welterweight division and go up against Brian Norman Jr., my peoples, come on now. That's you're going for the big gun. Like if you think about it, once Jerome Boots Ennis said, "I'm leaving the division," 147 belongs to Brian Norman Jr. I don't think there's anyone that would even debate that. Carlos, I don't know you, but I'll pray for you, your well-being, just because I can. Good night. I appreciate your prayers, my brother. Good night to you too as well. Good official Pablo. Brian Norman could be the next pound for pound best for real. I don't see how Devin can give him problems. He has the legs to get Devin if he runs like the Jose fight. And that's what I'm saying about a fighter like Brian Norman Jr. The athleticism is off the charts. He's gonna be in your face. He's gonna apply that pressure. But not only that, he doesn't have to. If you want to stand your ground and fight, he can either box you or he can fight. Either way, Brian Norman Jr. got the tools in the bag to fight you however he wants you. So I want to see how Devin, is going to be able to adjust what he brings to the table. Maker, Jay Smith, what up, what up? What's the deal, Maker? Damn, appreciate you dropping in, man. Prod, Prod T3 RXSS. Golly, my brother, why you doing me like this? How many car batteries would I need to acid melt a 168-pound chicken? Um, so I'm gonna block you, and then you can ask that question in another channel, because you goofy as hell for that. You don't deserve to be here. Or if this is gonna be the best boxing content, the best boxing channel ever. So what you can do is make another fake channel and then come check me out later. But I don't need your goofy ass with your goofy ass questions. Peace. Duly noted. Goofball. um, so my peoples, again, Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney, you gotta respect that. You gotta give him his respect. Why? Because he's choosing to fight the guy. He don't have to fight Brian Norman Jr. He chose to. Damn, you gotta respect that. So we got the type of fight to look forward to that nobody's watching anybody. I know that a lot of us feel like Brian Norman Jr. is gonna give Dev some problems, but I think Devin also has his own skill set that we're gonna see in display. So it's not, like Devin Haney's gonna get washed. Now, can Brian Norman Jr. hurt Devin? That can happen. If he hurts Dev, it'll be worse than with Ryan Garcia. It'll be worse. By the way, my peoples, remember to tune in to Boxing for Breakfast Mondays through Fridays at 6 in the morning, my peoples. If you haven't seen it, you don't know what you're missing out on. You do not know. Um, but again, my peoples, make your predictions. Let me know what y'all think. You got Devin Haney beating Brian Norman Jr. Do you have Brian Norman Jr. making it happen for himself? Who do you think wins the fight, and how do they win? That's the major question. Does it go the distance? Is somebody going to sleep? Remember, Devin Haney is working with Roy Jones Jr. and he's working with a few other elite level trainers. He's getting ready for Brian Norman Jr. Devin is not obviously not gonna take him lightly or anything like that. He understands. Look, this is why I don't even know how Devin made this decision. You think about this. Brian Norman Jr. fought, was it Jin Sasaki? And bro, that was an explosive knockout. Destruction from Brian Norman Jr. And right after that performance, Devin Haney decides, I'm gonna fight you. I want you out. I want to take what you got. Bro, how could we not respect Devin Haney when he's going after a dude like that? Come on now. Think about this for a second. While Devin Haney is going to the welterweight division to fight the best what most people consider the best champion in the division, the guy after Boots left, that's who Devin Haney is going to the welterweight division to challenge. At the same time, Tank Davis is having a rematch with Lamar Roach, who he brought up from the 130 division to face him at 135. Come on now. Lamar Roach is a cherry pick gone wrong. Be honest, my people. Y'all can't hate on me for being honest. Lamar Roach is a cherry pick gone wrong. So while Tank Davis is fighting a rematch with a cherry pick gone wrong, Devin Haney is fighting biggest, the biggest gun at the welterweight division, Brian Norman Jr. Bro, who's really out there trying to, make it happen? And, there's people that make the argument, look, Tank is just, he's not about the money, he's about the money, he doesn't really care about legacy. Come on now. Prod T3RX was hidden by Box Center with Jay Smith. Oh yeah, that was that golf ball. That was that golf ball. So, y'all tell me, my peoples, do you feel like Devin Haney is going to be able to handle Brian Norman Jr.'s pressure? You see his explosiveness. You see how he comes forward and he's going to apply that pressure. Is Devin Haney going to allow that? It is, because that's the thing. People say Devin is a runner. I'll refer you to the fight with Vasil Lomachenko. I'll refer you to the fight with Linares. Is Devin Haney really a runner? No. He's a pure boxer. He moves around, but he's not a runner, my people. Ooh, Benjamin Hernandez with the super chat vibes. Bam! Salute, Benjamin. I appreciate you. Yeah. Good blind maker, good blind J Smith. I appreciate you. Yeah, yeah, that's how. You see, that's what I tell you, my people. Like sometimes it's enough to cook them a few times and even let them stick around so they can understand that they losers. And then sometimes you just get rid of them real quick. He can make a fake channel and come back and tune in. On Lace, salute my brother. Maker, I hope Devin comes back and has a decent showing before Ryan. He had a promising trajectory. I mean, I think Devin Haney still has a promising trajectory, but look, man, I got a lot of respect for Devin Haney for doing it like that, for deciding to go after Brian Norman Jr. That's crazy. The official Pablo, Devin is the real deal. Has one of the best resumes. That's a fact. Devin's resume is legit. It's at 147. Maker says, is it at 147? That is correct, my brother. He's challenging for Brian Norman Jr.'s title. He's trying to take it from him. So if you think about how explosive was Brian Norman Jr. in his last performance, it's crazy for Devin to say, yeah, I want you next. Let's get it. The sound is, I hear you, John Parron. The sound is a little bit off. I adjusted the mic a little bit, my peoples. Let me know if you hear anything different with the sound. The official Pablo. When I see Brian KO, that last guy he fought reminded me of Roy Jones. Kind of looked like him. And by the way, Roy Jones Jr. is working with Devin Haney right now. Come on now. Raul Estremera, Davey G, John Parra, Roy Jones. How? I mean, there was that power and that speed, bro. That power and that speed and that counter punching. I mean, my bad. Let me take back what I said about the speed, because definitely not the speed, but the power and the reflexes to the counter punching, though. It was Roy Jones ish. I can say that. Raul Estremera, Devin Haney, he ain't the same. That's to be seen, man. That's to be seen. We're gonna find out. I wouldn't say that. You know why? Because versus Jose Ramirez, it wasn't an exciting fight, right? But Devin Haney made his fight. He controlled it. He controlled 100%. Pitched the shutout. Easy win. Didn't take no damage. Didn't take big punches. So he showed his elite level in that fight. Right now, we still don't know how he's gonna react to adversity. What happens if he take a big shot? How is he gonna react? But as far as skills and how he handled himself, he put on a masterclass versus Jose Ramirez. The official Pablo John, with the nasty Roy Jones hook, had that guy's eyes rolling back. Maker, you got Devin Haney on your shirt, I see. Ah, come on, man. Why you gotta do it like that, bro? That's not Devin Haney. That's not Devin Haney, bro. Stop. Don't be like that. John Parham, appreciate the donation. Hell yeah, appreciate it, my people. The official Pablo, yeah, John. Brian has had Roy Jones' power and explosiveness. Maybe not as slick, but defensively got that snap. Yeah, he got that power, man. He got that power. Serious, and with both hands. I think Roy Jones is more versatile, though. You know, we have to be realistic. Roy Jones is a lot more versatile, but there's some hints that you can see there. The official Pablo. That that's another good thing about Devin. He really gets trained by everybody. He's in everybody's gym, soaking in knowledge from every trainer. That's a fact. And I have a little bit of insider information about a trainer that's joining Devin's team, my people. Ooh, my back center family is about to get information that nobody else has. Let me give y'all the scoop, my people. I can't give y'all some details because I don't have the freedom to do so, but let me give y'all the scoop. There's a trainer, very well known trainer within the boxing community. He joined Devin Haney's team. And they haven't posted about it. I haven't seen it. So you're probably gonna find out about it in Friday's press conference because I was talking to him and he's gonna be there. Yo, Devin Haney's adding a real good trainer to the roster. So hopefully, while they're in training camp, I'll be able to talk to one of Devin Haney's trainers while they're getting, ready for Brian Norman Jr. So I'm gonna see if I can make that happen, and that would be fire. John Parent on Lace. I haven't made my mind up, but a draw is nice in Shakur fight. A draw in Shakur versus Zapata, I don't know. I don't see that happen. The official Pablo, don't tell me it's Eddie Reynoso. It's not Eddie Reynoso, bro. Eddie Reynoso is not joining Devin Haney's team at all. On Lace 2600, John Parham might put some light on a draw like 30. Make it. I don't know, man. I don't see a draw happen. Honestly, I see Shakur Stevenson putting on a dominant performance, putting the Swiss, the Dre, and of course the Apple beats on Williams Zapata. In fact, don't be surprised if Shakur get the stoppage. You heard it here first. I don't know if you heard it somewhere else, but Shakur might get the stoppage, my people. Don't be surprised. Zapata's gonna be making a lot of mistakes, thinking he's gonna rush in and beat him up and do all this. It's not going down like that. Shakur Stevenson is going to capitalize on those mistakes and put the Swiss beats on Zapata. The official Pablo, if Berlanga wins, who should he fight next? I mean, he might actually try to pursue a rematch with Canelo. I don't think that needs to happen. Like, yo, you got completely dominated. It wasn't even close. So who should he fight next? I mean, fight Caleb Plant. I like that. I still like that fight. I even like the fight with Moncharlo. Fight him. I like that fight as well. John Parham, I got Berlanga in 9. Ooh. Listen, I told you, man, I feel like Hamza Shiraz is good enough to win this fight. Matter of fact, I got Shiraz winning. That's it. I said what I said. Berlanga need to convince me. That's it. Maker, Shakur needs his own headphones. Shakur beats. I'm telling you, because he putting the beats on everybody. Raul Estremera. Subriel Matias. Yes, sir. Listen, Subriel Matias is one of my favorite fighters. He got a tough fight in front of him in Alberto Puello. Um, I'm predicting that Alberto Puello is going to win the fight. Part of that, and I'm being honest with you, is because he's my Dominican brother. So I'm rocking with him, Dominican and Puerto Rico, the whole rivalry there. So I'm rocking with Puello. But not just because he's my Dominican brother. Alberto Puello can fight, my people. I noticed that there's folks saying that Suriel Matias is going to knock him out. And then when I ask them, have you seen Alberto Puello fight? They're like, nah, I haven't really seen him. So it's like, bro, all I'm going to say is at least watch Alberto Puello before you make up your decision. Puello beat Gary Antoine, John Caraballo, Puello beat Gary Antoine Russell. I was actually saying that in this morning's live. By the way, for those new here, boxing for breakfast in the morning every day, you gotta tune in. We talking some real boxing stuff over there. But yeah, John Caravaggio, I was talking about that this morning. That Alberto Puello is the only fighter to beat Gary Antoine Russell, and you know that Gary Antoine Russell is an elite level fighter, top notch, and Alberto Puello beat him. So that tells you, once I tell you that he beat this fighter, you should know that Puello is also an elite level guy. He's not just an average Joe. He's a world champion for a reason. So this is gonna be a good fight. Classic, classic boxer versus the puncher. So Gabriel Matias, pretty straightforward guy. He's gonna try to slip punches and work his way on the inside. Alberto Puello with the reach advantage. He's gonna use that footwork. And let's see who's gonna be able to impose their style. Someone's going to impose their style. I believe Subriel White is Dominican. I might be wrong. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. John Powell, if Berlanga lose, He can't show face in New York. He gonna be looking for an apartment in Idaho. Yo, man, he gonna look goofy as hell with all the hype and all the stuff he talking about. He gonna break Shiraz's face. It's not gonna be a good look, bro. John Caravaggio, he tall and awkward. I'm telling you. Plus, not just tall and awkward, he's very good with using that range. Cause you know there's tall fighters that they still fight you inside of a phone booth. Yo, Alberto Puello will use that range on you. That stiff ass jab is gonna be in your face from different angles. So Suriel Matias is gonna have his work cut out for him. Luis Gustavo, Brazil. Ooh, Brazil is in the building. Shout out to Brazil. Shout out to my brother Luis Gustavo in the building. Saludos, hermanito mío. John Parham, she pretty damn decent too. She'll find one, she'll find one. The official, oh, let me take that back. I don't know if that's politically incorrect. You know, these days in social media, you don't know what you might say, and people rain down on you. So I didn't mean to say, is she fine? Is she a good-looking young lady? The official Pablo, what do you think about Emiliano Vargas? Emiliano Vargas, I'm very impressed with him. Very talented young fighter. I love his speed, power in both hands, real good footwork. Yo, Emilio, I believe that Fernando Vargas is doing an amazing job of developing his sons. Emilio, I believe he's going to be challenging for a title within the next couple of years. He's very young. I don't think they have to rush him. They have to throw him in there against one of the big guns right now. But Emilio Vargas, I believe that he's going to be a world champion. Vargas is definitely bringing him up the right way. Raul Estremera. Yeah, I see him fight. It's going to be a hard fight, but I still got Matias. No, and look, I understand. Suriel Matias is not a bad pick versus anybody because we know, number one, he's a great fighter. Number two, that power. One punch can, Suriel Matias has been in a couple of fights where he was losing. One punch changed the whole outcome of the fight. And that can happen at any given moment. So I understand you rocking with Suriel. I just feel like Alberto Puello is going to have the skills to even frustrate him with the movement and the angles and the clinching and the antics. John Parham, Vargas, he a bad man in my book. Fernando Vargas is a bad man, and his kids, they cut from that same cloth. John Parham, hit that like. Yeah, my peoples, hit that like button, man. Stop playing with me. The official Pablo, yeah, John. He a beast, a very skillful and shows power. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Emiliano I feel like this kid is going to be a world champion. Do y'all hear the singing? Two questions, my people. Number one, do y'all hear my voice clearly? Number two, do y'all hear the singing in the background? Let me know if I got to move from where I'm at. John Caravaggio, why would Tio turn down these easy fights like Haney and Matias? I feel like Subriel Matias. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I feel like Subriel Matias, his stock dropped after he lost. And Raul Estremera, you can chime in on this. What do you think? Subriel, when he lost, right, he lost in dominant fashion. It wasn't like he got robbed or anything like that. Like, he really got beat up. So, if you think about it, his comeback fight after being beat up, it wasn't versus a world champion. It wasn't the rematch to try to regain his title. It was a fight in a small venue versus a lower level opponent. A small venue in Puerto Rico. He won by knockout, right? Beat a guy that we never heard of. And then his second fight back after losing was kind of like the same thing. A lower level opponent, a smaller venue, a smaller card, knocked the guy out. So now Subriel Matias is going to get a title shot. This is his first fight back after losing. So I ask you, how good is Subriel Matias going to be if he didn't come back to big fights? He came back to two tune-up type of fights. So what do you think about that? Raul Estremera, do you think, taking into account that he's coming back and didn't fight big names, no sound, which was smart. John Caravaggio, I agree with you, my brother. Guys, can you hear me good? I want to make sure. Somebody's saying no sound. I mean, I agree. It was a smart decision to come back because he took a lot of punishment. So you want to come back to a fight where number one, you can gain your confidence. Number two, you're obviously gonna win. But also, most importantly, you can work on some things. When you're gonna dominate an opponent, you can work on little things. And so I understand that him coming back to lower level opponents, but that also shows the impact that loss had on him because like I said, we see it quite often where a champion loses and boom, he's right back fighting that dude. Look at, for example, Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu is fighting from Dora, right? He had to climb his way back, took another loss to Backward on his way back to getting his rematch with Fedora. On his back, right there back. So some fighters, when they lose, they trying to get that back ASAP. And then some fighters, when they lose, that's it. They even discard the possibility of that rematch. So, they Subriel feel like this guy got his number, that he didn't even try to get his title back from him. Raul Estremera, you're right, but he's staying busy as now he got two, but to work on. I mean, like I said, look, Subriel Matias is an elite level fighter, one of the hardest punchers in the division. I don't think that could even be up for debate. But let's see what type of effect that loss had on him when he's back in the ring with an elite level fighter in Alberto Puello. That's all I'm saying. Are we gonna see the same Subriel Matias that we've seen in the past? We're gonna find out. And what problems is Alberto Puello's footwork gonna pose? John Caravaggio. Let's get back to Tio. I'm baffled by the game plan behind Tio. Makes no sense to turn down Haney. So I'm gonna make it make sense for you, my brother. I'm gonna make it make sense. I'm gonna tell you, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney. That's a fight that we all wanted. But before that, so that I can connect the dots for you, I'm gonna rewind it back and take it to Teofimo Lopez, Brian Norman Jr. If you recall, no, Teofimo Lopez, Jerome Bush Evans. If you recall, there was a brief period in time where they were, going back and forth about actually making that fight. Some of us were even celebrating. Tio and Boots is gonna be crazy, making predictions and all that. That fight fell through, right? It didn't happen. We were saying Boots duck. Why? Because Boots said, Boots is the one that said, I don't need Tio. He declined the offer. He declined not to fight. So we're saying Boots duck, right? But keep this in mind. Boots didn't fight Tio. We're saying he ducked. Now Tio moves on and he supposedly is gonna fight with Devin Haney. But then he pulls out of the fight. And he goes in a back and forth with His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh and makes a comment about boxers not being slaves or something along those lines. But to really connect the dots, when Teofimo Lopez pulled out of the fight, Boots commented and he said, also, I gotta sell my soul, but he doesn't. Like, in other words, what Boots was saying, y'all knocking me for not fighting Teofimo, but I didn't want to work with Turkey. But he's not gonna fight, so it's okay. He don't gotta work with Turkey, and y'all gonna make me work with him. I'm a duck. So what's the common denominator between these fights not happening? His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh. So to answer to connect all the dots, my brother, Devin Haney did not fight Teofimo Lopez because of whatever's going on and they're not able to come to agreements with Turkey. As you can see, Devin is now fighting somebody from top rank, Brian Norman Jr. So there you have it, my brother. The official Pablo, imagine when Brian moves up and all the potential big entertainment fights he could be in. I want to see him fight the Giant Fedora and Virgil. Would be nice. Um, Look, I think that Brian Norman Jr. is probably going to stay at the welterweight division for some time. And I say this because he's only 24 years old and he's making weight. He's making weight. You don't got to move up. So I think there's a possibility that by the time Brian Norman Jr. moves up to 154, Virgil and even Fedora may be leading to 160. Because those guys are pretty big. They can still make 154 because they're young. But Fedora's a big guy. Even though he's skinny, he's a big kid. John Parham, Norman should cook up 147 and then move up. I agree. Pursue greatness. The money's gonna come. The fame, the popularity is gonna keep rising. Pursue greatness. Try to snatch all them belts. He's young enough to where he has enough time. Unlaced. John, who you got? Norman versus Haney. The official Pablo, yeah. Cause he's in a good spot because you young 140s are talking about moving up already. Brian has a bright future if he keeps winning. And I believe that he is gonna keep winning, bro. Brian Norman Jr. is just a guy that, you can see the talent level that he possesses. He's gonna keep winning, bro. He's not going anywhere. Clarence McLean, no duck zone. Yo, salute my guy, my brother. Man, appreciate you dropping in. On Lace, who here is Charlo? El Gato. I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with Charlo right now. With either of the Charlo bros. John Parham. Norman, honestly, if Haney tried to stand toe to toe, I don't think Devin Haney's gonna try to stand toe to toe, but we've already seen that Devin, if you apply that pressure, he'll fight back. He's not gonna go in a shell or just go running. He'll fight back and maybe get clipped, maybe not, but he's gonna fight. I think Brian Norman Jr. I think Norman Jr. is gonna force him to fight. John Caravaggio, yup, I agree with that take. On Lace, I think Haney gonna pull the boxing moves on Norman. So you got Dev winning that fight. John Parham, I think once Dev feel Norman power, he's gonna think twice and be in defense mode and put his shoes in sports mode. I'm gonna tell you something, bro. Devin Haney is has brought somebody, a trainer into that team that I have to reevaluate my prediction. I'm gonna just tell you like that, man. I was gonna say, yo, Brian Norman. I haven't predicted, by the way. I say it's a 50-50 fight right now, very good fight because they both special. I was leaning towards Brian Norman Jr. because of how explosive was he in that last fight and what we seen from him. But with the new trainer that Devin Haney added to the roster, and he's gonna be the lead trainer, I'm gonna have to reevaluate my whole take on this thing, my people. That's what I'm gonna tell you. The official Pablo, Devin has that Shakur level hate from the boxing critics. I agree. I agree. Is that Shakur level hate? Um, I think Shakur gets a little bit more, but Devin gets that type of hate too. Troy McRae, peace, J. Smith. What do you think about Turkey implementing the room? And what do you mean the room? My bad, my brother. Implementing the room. And if you can send that back, Troy McRae, I got you. John Parham, I think Norman hits harder than anybody Dev faced. I'm going to have to agree with you. I'm going to have to agree with you. I can't think of anybody who's a harder puncher. On Lace, can you say the name of the trainer? I can't say it, man. The reason I can't say it, my brother, is because they haven't made a public announcement. And I only spoke to him briefly earlier, and he let me know that he was on his way to meet up with them and all that. So I haven't spoke to him again, and I can't be making no announcement when. Imagine I say it right here, somebody pick up this video, screenshot it, and post it all over the place as a breaking news, and they ain't even announced the shit. So I can't really say, but on Friday, or maybe even before that, you may find out. You may find. I don't know if maybe they'll post something tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna try to talk to him, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna find out real soon, my brother. And that trainer got me thinking that I don't know, man. I'm I'm not ready to make a prediction just because of him alone joining that squad. John Parham, I like Devin personally, but not sure he can take a punch still. That's a big question mark, my brother. You remember before the Jose Ramirez fight, that was the question I had. But we saw Devin Haney was able to use that footwork effectively, stay away from Ramirez's power. We didn't see him get touch up, with tough shots. Let's see. We got to see how he's going to react because Brian Norman Jr. is definitely going to test that chin. There's no getting around it. When you fight somebody at that level with that skill set, you're going to taste it. Hash Bash, who's the lead trainer for Devin? So there's a new trainer joining the team, and I didn't speak to him long enough to know if he's going to be the lead trainer, but I know that he's going to be Devin's trainer. And like I said, man, y'all going to find out real soon. Probably 100% sure you're going to see him with Devin in Friday's press conference. 100% sure. But I'm not sure if maybe tonight or tomorrow or ahead of the presser, they're going to announce it. I don't know yet, but this trainer's elite level, my G. Troy McGrave. I mean, what do you think about Turkey saying no Tom and no Tom and Jerry when it comes to Shakur and Zepeda fight? I mean, my brother, His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh could say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, boxing is not a circus show. Boxing is not a sport for you to tell people, yo, hey, kill each other. Go ahead, stand each other in the middle of the ring, break each other's heads. So, His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh is a fan of boxing. I understand if fans of boxing want to entertain that train of thought. But fighters don't have to do what Turkey say inside the ring. There is no rule, no such thing as a Tom and Jerry rule. You heard it from Terrence Crawford's own mouth. Nobody's gonna tell me how to win. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. So the Tom and Jerry comments, that's insulting. That's disrespectful, I would say. And no matter what they say, at the end of the day, the results is gonna be the same. So Corey Stevenson is gonna beat Williams Zepeda. There you have it. So the comments, it is what it is. It's a dumb comment and a dumb logic, but people who never laced on a pair of gloves in their lives, they're gonna think it's normal. They're gonna think it makes sense. The official Pablo, I feel like it's Zab Judah. Nah, my brother, it's not Zab. Zab is not a trainer, my brother. He's helped train the person I'm talking about. He's a trainer, an elite level trainer, and he's not. I'm gonna tell you, he's not like a big high profile superstar trainer, but within boxing, he's very well known. And there's a lot of people that copy some of his training techniques. All of the world champions, everybody, they know this dude. So he's gonna be a great addition to Devin's team. But Zab is definitely that dude. But nah. On Lace, I feel you. I feel you. Respect is everything. Facts, my brother. It's all about the respect. On Lace, Zab Dad's been in Devin's corner. Zab's dad, he's actually, a lot of people don't know this, he was a kickboxing champion. And then he transitioned into boxing, and he's trained world champions in boxing as well. He's very accomplished as a trainer, but no, I'm not talking about Zab Judah's dad. Hash Bash, we got to see when a fighter put Devin in a position where he has to fight. I think Brian Norman Jr. is going to do exactly that. We saw Vasyl Lomachenko do that. Why? Because Vasyl Lomachenko, very fast on his feet, very quick hands, gives you angles, applies pressure. Brian Norman Jr. does that as well. He's going to apply that pressure. And like I said before, Devin Haney is not the type of fighter that when you get on him, that he's going to run or go in a shell and let you tee off. He's going to fight back. He's going to start counter punching, letting his hands go. He might get clipped like it happened versus Linares. But look, the fight versus Linares, for those of you who saw it, you know that Devin Haney was dominating Linares completely, pitching a shutout, and then he got clipped really bad. I think it was in the 10th round. Maybe you guys can confirm. Maybe you guys can Google that shit. And Linares hurt him really bad. But right there, the round ended, right? Well, after that, Devin Haney still had 2 rounds to go. And he started using that footwork, using that jab, clinching, step back, clinching again, jab, footwork. Devin Haney had the wherewithal to stay away from getting hit again like that. And you saw Linares desperate, trying to land another big shot. And he couldn't land another one. And people don't see what it takes to pull that off. Because once you get hurt, it's easy to lose focus and do what you're supposed to do. And you see, I can tell you this as a fighter because I have first-hand knowledge. I got dropped. And guess what? I got hit with the first shot. Boom. And when the second shot was coming, I was trying to block it. But when I put my hands up, I didn't realize that I wasn't putting really no force behind them to actually block the shot. I just put them up and the glove went right through and it hit me and dropped me. So I'm telling you by experience. But Devin Haney is going to be, facing someone who has a lot of power, who can hurt you with both hands. And he chose to do that. He picked Ryan Norman Jr. as his next opponent. What does that tell you about that? Troy McRae, you're saying exactly what I was thinking, my brother. You know it. You know it. People who know boxing think alike, my G. The official Pablo, I feel like it's disrespectful, really, because it's a style of boxing. There's really, look, I'm going to tell you, well, let me finish reading it. There's really not running like they say. It's a style. Boxers get trained, and it's not just a style, a skill. Everybody doesn't have the skill to do that. Or what to do with style. My peoples, I'm gonna give you guys the best comparison so you can see how dumb it sounds when people talk about the shrinking ring and that they should do it, and people actually trying to support that. I feel, I feel embarrassed and ashamed when I seen a video from Showbiz the Entertainer that it looked like he's promoting that shit or supporting that shit. I'm like, damn, yo, this dude got a big ass platform and you supporting that clownery. I want you to think about this, my people. Imagine basketball fans saying, yo, we need to make bigger rims and put them lower so that everybody could slam dunk the ball and we could get more highlights in every game. You imagine that shit? You imagine baseball fans, yo, we need bigger baseball bats, the big ones like that, so that everybody could get a home run and every at bat is gonna be a highlight. How corny that shit gonna be? What about in hockey? Yo, what if we change the rules so that you can grab the hockey puck and you can throw it into the net? That way they score more points. And it's gonna be more exciting for us and the fans. How goofy does that really sound? So that's the reality. Just because you don't like a style of boxing don't mean you want to change the ring side to fit you. That's number one. Come on. You don't change the ring side to fit your narrative and to fit the style that you like. Because guess what? Unbeknownst to His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh, there's those of us that like every single style. There's those of us who enjoy every single style. I love it when I see Shakur do that quick backstep, shoot, boom, and come back with a quick shot. I enjoy watching that. I enjoy the footwork of watching a fighter get frustrated because he's chasing you and punching and missing by inches. So, 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 I enjoy that too. So, you don't suggest that a whole style of boxing needs to be erased just because you don't like it. That's the number one thing. Oh, Lace, I hate showbiz. Steve Urkel looking ass. He always on bullshit. Jamie Givens, come on, brother. We spoke about this yesterday. John Parham, facts. Showbiz looks like he sits in a bar on The Simpsons. So, it's like I said, my people. But look, I told you, that's the number one reason why it's stupid. Like, it's like a stupid idea. But the number two reason that I want you to think about, my people, yo, it was just a few days ago that a fighter died, a boxer, in Phoenix, Arizona. Bro, that was just a few days ago. This guy only fought a 6 rounder. Not not a championship fight that they go 12 rounds. It was a 6 rounder. A guy that was a journeyman, rest in peace. He had like 15 wins and over 20 losses. So you're a journeyman, right? And this guy fought 6 rounds, went to the hotel, and they found him dead the next day. I posted a video about it. Some of you, I'm sure you see. Boxing is the sport, the combat sport, where the most athletes die. More than in MMA, more than in wrestling, more than in jiu-jitsu, more than in bare knuckle. More fighters die in boxing than in any other combat sport. And you telling me you want to shrink the ring? No, you think fighters are animals? They slaves? We force them, yo, hey, kill each other. Why, why not just fuck it? Fuck it. Tie them, tie them, tie them like this next to each other. Make them fight inside of a little box. Make the ring one by one. Fuck it, make the ring one by one, and they can just punch each other in the face until somebody dies. Like what kind of circus show are they really trying to do? Boxing is a sport. It's a dangerous sport. You don't play with that. You don't fix things around so that people can beat each other up to your liking. That's crazy. But again, because His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh never laced on a pair of gloves in his life, never been punched in the face, it's easy. It's easy for fans who just watch boxing on TV to be like, yeah, yo, make the ring shorter. Make them beat each other up. I want them to beat each other brains out. You watching it on TV, that's nice. Why you don't get in the ring and let somebody beat your brains out in a small ring? But that's just my perspective, my people. That's just me. CC Motion, 1998. John, jump, roping, jump roping doesn't hit the same way running does, huh? Nah, it definitely doesn't. Jumping rope is really good, but nah, running is a different. Everybody has to run to gain a certain level of condition. You can't do it with just a rope. Troy McGray. But, by the way, let me not miss saying that jumping rope is an amazing, a great cardio, a great exercise. It is. But running for that conditioning, to go the distance, it's a different ballgame. Troy McGray. It's funny how they judge these boxers that have footwork nowadays. But when Pernell Sweepy made his opponents look bad with his skills, he was loved by fans. Even today, double standards at his best. Of course. I mean, the thing is also though that we didn't have social media back then, so people couldn't spread their hate narrative and convince other people to spread that hate narrative. Because I remember people hating on Sweepy. I remember people saying he run and dance too much, but that was just a little group of haters. They didn't have social media to tell everybody around the world, look, agree with me. He's boring. Look, agree with me. And then a bunch of sheep to want to agree with them. You know, social media made it different. Social media, one boxer, look, I'm going to put it to you like this, guys. One hater will convince 10 other haters to hate with him because he'll start looking for these fake conspiracies and these fake negative angles and rain upon them with all that hate stuff. So before you know it, he get other people to hate with him too and share their angles and start sharing their fake news too. That's just the way it goes, my G. Hash Bash. Turkey and Dana want to destroy the sweet science. I don't think they want to destroy it. I think that they're just trying to create a business model that suits them, that makes them the most money, and they're not really, putting the emphasis on the fighter or taking care of the fighter. That's what it looks like to me. The official Pablo. Turkey is going to try to bring back 15 rounds to take away draws. The crazy thing is, my brother, is that 15 rounds was pulled back because of brain damage, because everything that was happening to fighters. And at 12 rounds, we're still seeing brain damage. We're still seeing people getting killed. We're still seeing people dying. And you want to bring it back up? That's what I'm telling you, Turkey. He talks like he don't give a damn about the fighters. Like, You know how back in the days, in the gladiator days, they used to make people fight to the death. They used to take the slaves and make them fight each other to the death. It look like that's what Turkey want to do at this point. If that's what you want to do. Come on now. That's not it, man. That's not, you know, your TKO league that you're doing over there. Go do whatever you want with your TKO league, but you're not gonna ruin the sport of boxing. You know, bringing in all these whack job rules. Yeah, Gal Dalapa, what's the deal, my brother? Bam, on lace, a bunch of sheep leading the blind. Trying to tell you, bro. Yeah, y'all think about this, my peoples, and I was talking to somebody about this earlier. I want you to consider this. Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. I think everybody in here agrees that that's the biggest fight in boxing right now, right? Like, that is the biggest fight in boxing. You know, that's the fight everybody's talking about the most. That's the fight that's gonna get the most views. That's the fight that's gonna be the most watched. I promise you this. Not getting around it. It's gonna be on Netflix. The viewership is going to be insane. So I say this, my people. When it comes to Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, how are people going to react if Crawford pulls off the upset? How are people going to react to that? Is he actually going to get credit? Or are we going to find new excuses? Troy McGray, your analysis be on point. You give me the feedback I'll be looking for. You know your shit. I appreciate it, my brother. Bam. Bertha Gomez, what's up? What time is it? Where you at? Bertha Gomez, can you fix audio, little bro? So I can hear you? Whoa. Hold on, my peoples. Let me know. If the audio is not working, how's the audio now, my peoples? Let me know. Love more Hinduism. Shiraz gonna upset Berlanga. Man, I feel like Shiraz gonna win that fight. A little better, damn, just a little better. That's bad. You want it to be a lot better. He's gonna be like, yo, Jay, you sound clear as hell. Hold on. And I'm gonna give you an analysis, my people. I'm gonna give you guys an analysis on Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford. Think about this. That is the biggest fight in boxing, right? I'm asking you guys the question before I give you this analysis. Does everyone in here agree that Bud versus Canelo is the biggest fight in boxing? Do you guys agree? Tell me what you guys think. The official Pablo, I want to see Berlanga upset. Bertha Gomez, yes, right. Canelo versus Bud is the biggest fight in boxing. So I want you to consider this, my people. His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh, just a few years ago, he wasn't even involved in boxing. In no capacity. He wasn't involved. He was just a fan of boxing and decided, yo, I want in because I like this sport, right? Dana White has never been involved in boxing. This is his first promotion ever. And then there's two others promoter who I cannot name who ain't been involved with boxing. So what I'm showing you, my peoples, is that the biggest fight in boxing is being promoted by four people who ain't even involved in boxing. And it's gonna take place in the daytime so that a UFC fight can happen that same day at night. So there you have it. How does it happen that these people who ain't even been involved in boxing swept up the biggest fight in boxing for them? Bertha Gomez. I kind of want to pick Berlanga for decision. What do you guys think? Look, I was talking about Berlanga this morning. We was talking about it yesterday. I've been a little bit down on Berlanga simply because he hasn't looked good. He didn't look uploaded to your videos. I don't know why I uploaded to my videos. But Berlanga didn't look good in a couple of fights before facing Canelo. So I'm like, damn, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like he just didn't look good. And versus Canelo, the way he lost that fight, I didn't like it either. I felt like it didn't look like he was really trying to win. I felt like he was just trying to survive that fight, and I just didn't like it. It didn't come across like Berlanga's cut from that cloth. Think about, and I want you to consider this: David Morrell when he lost to David Benavidez. That fight, Morrell, he looked like he was trying to take it from the Mexican monster. You know, that night he lost to the better fighter, but Morrell was there to fight. He was there to win, landed big shots, had his moments in the fight, and he came up short versus the bigger, stronger fighter. It happened. But he was there to win. So David Morrell showed me that he's cut from that cloth. I feel confident that he is going to become a world champion. But Edgar Berlanga, the way that he lost to Canelo, I didn't like it. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, my people. I didn't like it at all. Bertha Gomez. Berlanga was training in Colorado. I think Berlanga had good training camp. It looks like it. I seen him in an interview where he was talking about going to the mountains and focusing. Obviously, he's not underestimating Shiraz. He spoke about that. He understands that Shiraz wants this win badly, and is gonna bring the best version of himself. So Berlanga's not underestimating his opponent. I want to see how he's gonna perform. I said it before. If Berlanga can win this fight, not by controversy, not in a way that we feel like maybe he lost. If he can win this fight convincingly, then I'm back in the Berlanga bandwagon. I'm a believer again. Right now, I'm not sure about it. I just don't know. Troy McRae, Shiraz is gonna wash him. Period. And you were so right about David Morrell. I'm telling you, I feel like if you see the way David Morrell went down to David Benavidez, you can see that he's cut from that same cloth. He was a little bit smaller, facing a guy with more power, and he came up short. But you saw his skill set, you saw his power. David Morrell's going to become a world champion, my peoples. The official Pablo, skilled, lighter, switch hitter, pound for pound boxer versus no footwork, former pound for pound number one puncher, boxer. I choose Bud. You seen it, my peoples. You seen it, the official Pablo. I said Terrence Crawford is gonna win by unanimous decision. That's how I got that fight playing out. Bertha Gomez. Whoa, I can't wait for the weekend, bro. Are you going live? Peoples, you damn skippy, I'm going live. I'm calling that fight. Yo, fight night with Jay Smith. If there's big fights, I'm on it. I'm on it, my people. I promise you. And for those of you who haven't seen Boxing for Breakfast in the morning, yo, y'all gotta tune in, my people. Boxing for Breakfast is lit right now. I appreciate all the support. Everybody who's tuning in, showing love. Let's get it, my people. Starting at 6 in the morning, Mondays through Fridays, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. LB Jersey. Que lo que Tigre, salute. And shout out to the Future Boxing Channel, Box Center with Jay Smith. My brother, I appreciate you. You're right, man. Box Center is going to be the number one boxing channel on the worldwide scale. Bertha Gomez. Hell yeah. I'm tuned in for sure. Bertha Gomez, I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. Um, and it is the way that it's growing is interesting because, and that's why I'm enjoying it as well. People are tuning in and they're in the chat and they're letting us know. They're like, yo, my peoples, I just got to my job. I'ma see y'all later. I'm out. Or people tuning in like, yo, I'm having breakfast right now. What's good? So it's like you see people developing that routine where in the morning, where there's, setting up breakfast or getting ready, whatever it is that they're doing before getting into work, they're going to boxing for breakfast to get that dosage of boxing early. Early, my peoples. The official Pablo, Canelo doesn't have the feet for Crawford. Crawford has two young body. Canelo has an old man body. You know, I think that age-wise, they're about the same age. Crawford is a couple of years older, but I don't think age is going to be a factor. Canelo's in pretty good shape, too. He just doesn't have that footwork. He just doesn't have that footwork that Bud has. Bertha Gomes, yeah. I always turn in at my job. I appreciate you, Bertha. Appreciate you tuning in. Hash Bash. David Morrell needed that fight against Benavidez, and he's gonna be better on his next fight. It's just the lightweight too bright. The light was too bright. I like Morrell. I like Morrell too, man. Like I said, I expect him to become a world champion, top level fighter. You know, he has all the tools in the bag. So I expect him to do big things. Rafael Polanco, my friend, you look Dominican. If you are, I salute. Yo, I'm Dominican too, Patria. But let me tell you, Crawford is going to get stopped by Canelo. Rafael Polanco, I am Dominican. Yo soy maní, yo soy dominicano, hermanito mío de Santiago, 100%. You're going to be disappointed, Mr. Polanco, I promise you. Terence Crawford's going to put the beats on Canelo. I promise you. You're going to find out. You're going to find out. You're going to find out why Canelo demanded $150 million to fight Crawford. You're going to find out. In boxing, my peoples, when you're a big star, you demand a shitload of money when you could potentially get your ass kicked. It's like, I'm going to get beat up, but I need to get the bag. Think about Canelo asked for more money to fight Terence Crawford than he asked to fight Triple G. Let that marinate in your spirit, my people. Canelo's gonna get more money for Bud Crawford than he got for Triple G. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Matter of fact, he may be getting more money for Crawford than he got for Triple G 1, 2, and 3. Fuck around. I'm just making that, that calculation off the top of my head, so I don't know if it's accurate, but I'm gonna have to make it and revisit. Bertha Gomes, I like how humble you are, and I'm Mexican. I enjoy your channel. Everyone, like and subscribe. Oh, Bertha Gomes, I really appreciate it. And salute to you and to all my Mexican friends. Let me tell you something, Bertha Gomes. I grew up in New York City in Manhattan, and my next door neighbors was Mexican. So one of my best friends when I was 9 years old, 10 years old, 11, was Mexican. And I always had Mexican friends growing up. So salute to you, I appreciate you. Me encantan los tacos, me encantan los burritos, el picante. So yeah, I love Mexican food too. And Mexican people are amazing. Y'all hard worker, great hearted people, very educated. I love Mexican people. The official Pablo, I got Benavidez over Beterbiev and Bivol. Me too. Me too. Look, right now, with Benavidez being dead in his prime, I don't see nobody boxing beating him. Oh, if he try to go to heavyweight, that's a different story. But I don't see nobody beating him. I don't see it. I don't see it, my people. David Benavidez, he truly is a monster. He a monster, my people. The official Pablo did Canelo ask for 200 million for Benavidez fight? I think that he did, but you're talking about a fight that did not happen. I'm talking about all the fights that he's made. Terence Crawford is the one that he asked the most money. That means a lot. That tells you right there. If you analyze that, that tells you what's really good. Rafael Polanco, manito, with all the cariño and respect, with this one, Crawford walk out of the ring with an L. Canelo is putting a number on Crawford. But my respect to you, manito, patria. Te estoy diciendo, manito, esa vuelta no se va a dar como tú crees. No se va a dar como tú crees. The thing is, look, you're telling me, right, Rafael Polanco, you're telling me that you feel like Canelo's going to win. And I respect that because, look, and I always say it, Canelo's a great fighter, my brother. Pound for pound. One of the best of this era. There's a reason why he's the face of boxing. So I respect it if you think that Canelo's going to win. But all I tell you is, just remember the fighters who beat Canelo, Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol, they were not power punchers. They never hurt Canelo. Canelo was never hurt in those fights. They outboxed him. They used that longer jab, that reach, and that footwork. And Canelo was not able to operate and do the things that he normally does. If you watch the fight with Canelo versus Dimitri Bivol, those body shots were not there. Why? Because you got to get on the inside to land those body shots. You can't land it from all the way over there. You can't do it. So versus Dimitri Bivol, Canelo landed very few good, close, clean body shots. He landed few of those. They was not there, so he couldn't break them down slowly like he normally does to slow him down and stop him in the later rounds. He couldn't. Bivol was just as fast at the last round because he didn't take that type of punishment to the body. So all I'm telling you is that you're not respecting Crawford has a longer reach than Dimitri Bivol. You're not respecting that. You're gonna see it in play in September 13th. You're also not respecting that Crawford has way better footwork than Canelo Alvarez. That's not even up for debate. We all know this. So I believe that you guys are not respecting the advantages. You're not respecting the advantages that Crawford has over Canelo. You're only looking at Canelo advantages. Oh, he's stronger. He's stronger. He's stronger. He's stronger. He's been in that weight. He's for bigger people. He's stronger. But you're not looking at who has the reach advantage, which is Crawford. You're not looking at who has the footwork advantage, which is Crawford. Who has the height advantage, Crawford. So the physical advantages that Terence Crawford has over Canelo, you're ignoring them, and you're gonna see what they mean inside the ring on September 13th. We already saw it against Errol Spence, and you're gonna tell me, well, Errol Spence is no Canelo. He's not. But the same things that affected and disrupted what Errol Spence normally does are also going to disrupt Canelo. And then people are going to say, well, Canelo didn't look the same. I don't know what happened, and so on and so forth. Hash Bass, Jay Smith, you don't think that's disrespectful bringing a 154-pound fighter to 168 and believe he 154 can win off that Haney? I don't think that's disrespectful, but your question doesn't really make sense, Hash Bass, because just the other day you was telling me that Crawford should fight Benavidez at 175. So one day you're saying Crawford is too small for 168, and the next day you're saying that he should fight at 175. So that's just a hater point of view that you have that you're expressing. How can I answer to that? Troy McRae. Well, when Canelo fought Triple G, they weren't giving up that kind of money back then. But he known Turkey has no problem with giving up the bag. So he set the price. I mean, there was people making big money still, bro. There was people making big money. You gotta forget Floyd Mayweather had already fought for big money. Big money at that time. The official Pablo. There's no way Canelo can beat him. I can think of over 1,000 different ways the fight can go, and Crawford has all the answers for anything Canelo has. Trust me. The thing, look, I want to show you guys something. When it's about Canelo and Crawford, right? The people that are predicting that Canelo's gonna win, that's really all you're saying. Canelo's gonna win. Trust me. He's stronger, he's bigger, he's gonna win, trust me. But big and strength doesn't win fights. We all know that you have to actually do something in the ring to win those fights. So notice the difference between the people who think Canelo's gonna win and the people who think Crawford is gonna win. The people who talk about Canelo, they just say he's gonna win, and that's it. He's gonna win. I believe he's gonna win. But the people who say Crawford is gonna win, they can actually tell you how he's gonna win. They can point at the better footwork. They can point at the reach advantage. They can point at the fact that Canelo has been outboxed multiple times. But what are, Canelo people pointing at to say that he's gonna win? Oh, he's bigger and stronger. He's bigger and stronger. He's bigger and stronger. Since when does bigger and stronger guarantees winning a fight? How is this guaranteeing a win for Canelo? I don't even get it. Hash Bass, never say he should fight Benavidez at 175. Yes, you did. You actually said it directly to me. John Parham, can we get 20? Damn, can we get 20? Nice, man. Got me stuck at 17. Come on, my people. I can't get 20 likes when I'm giving that this bum buckle boxing. um, but again, when it comes to Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. And it's funny because Terence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson, they get the same disrespect. Like if you see Hash Bass, he hate on Crawford, he also hate on Shakur. It's like he gotta hate on both of them. You can't just hate one. You gotta hate on the team. So I noticed it's not just Hash Bass. Pretty much most of the people who hate on one, hate on the other. So what do? They always have a negative angle. Everything they say is based on a negative angle about them, about Crawford and Shakur. But think about it. Terence Crawford is about to fight, be involved in the biggest fight in boxing, my people. The biggest fight. Crawford done climbed his way from all his haters, still saying that he don't fight nobody, to the biggest fight in boxing. That's an accomplishment. The haters are gonna look so goofy. Crawford haters are gonna look like Floyd haters. You know, Floyd haters today, most of them will tell you that they knew he was gonna be great. They knew he was going to the Hall of Fame. They used to love Floyd because they embarrassed to tell you how they really felt about Floyd back then. All these Terence Crawford haters, years down the line, when he's universally recognized as the guy, they're all gonna sit here and say, "No, I knew he was gonna be the guy. I always knew Crawford was that dude. Everybody knew. Y'all not guessing, man. We all knew." Because that's the thing. They guess wrong, and when they guess wrong, then they say, "No, I knew that was gonna happen." You don't see what happens with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence. Today, everybody knew Crawford was gonna win. Everybody had Crawford stopping him. What's all the people that had Errol Spence stopping Crawford? I don't see them anymore. They disappear somehow. Underrated Will, Jay Smith. What's the deal, underrated Will? Bam, appreciate you dropping in. I'm trying to get these 20 likes, man. People don't even want to hit that like button. They ducking that like button the same exact way Tank Davis is ducking Shakur. Y'all know it is like that. Uno Munoz, raise your volume. Can't hear you. So it's not my volume, it's my microphone, which actually I ordered a new one already. I can't wait to get the new mic. This one is giving me hell. Jacob, I got Canelo by KO. Canelo is a disappointment in boxing for ducking Benavidez. And again, Jahai Tucker will be an all-time great. Listen, man, Jahai Tucker, I enjoy watching him a lot. I feel like he is going to be a world champion. He has a lot of tools in the bag, and he's just a special fighter, man. I can't wait for him to get, on the big stage and show the world what he brings to the table. So that's facts. Canelo, I don't think he's a disappointment to boxing, my brother, because you're citing one fight, David Benavidez. Your whole career, he has a whole career, 60 something fight. For not making one fight, that doesn't make an embarrassment to boxing, my brother. And especially for not fighting a guy that's a lot physically bigger than you. That I don't consider that, you know, something of that nature. Jaco, I just hit like, I appreciate it. Sammy Chiva, if Canelo loses, what's next for him? I mean, I'm sure Canelo's not going to retire on a loss. No way. Well, what's next is the rematch. His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh already let the cat out the bag. There is a rematch regardless of who wins. So we're going to get a part two, and then after that, let's see. Let's see. I think Crawford could opt to retire or go back down to 154. Canelo, I don't know. I don't know what will be next for him. I mean, Canelo's going to be, it's not like if he loses, he's going to disappear from boxing. Let me tell you this, my people. If Canelo loses, he's still the face of boxing. Did we not watch him lose to Bivol? And he was still the face. He's still the face of boxing. But it makes it more clear that he's on his way out. His time as the face of boxing is winding down. And losing will make that clear. Maker, who do you win if Shakur and Bug were the same weight class? I don't know, my brother. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Jacob, I consider anybody ducking people in their weight class a disappointment. I mean, you can have that perception, but look right now, Benavidez is at 175 because he couldn't cling on to 168 anymore. So, you know, that argument is bad because sometimes you want to say a guy's a weight bully, but then when you don't like the other guy, it's the guy that's ducking. So is Benavidez a weight bully or is Canelo ducking? That depends on who you ask. Some people say Benavidez is a weight bully because he was just clinging on to a division that he could barely make. He couldn't even make weight the last time that he fought there, barely. So I don't know. I think if you have a negative take and you don't like Canelo, that's gonna be your point of view. He's ducking. But if you don't have a problem with Canelo, you can understand why he's not gonna fight a guy that's like 10 feet taller than him. You're gonna understand it. I understand it. Troy McGrady, Jahai Tucker is good, but he did get hit a lot against Truck Simpson. My brother Truck Simpson can fight though. He got hit a lot against a guy who can fight. He walked out of it with a W. He beat a tough opponent in Simpson. That's a good win, my brother. And of course, Jahai, he's young. He's still in that development process. That's a good win. We see young fighters get hit more than what they should, make certain type of mistakes. Remember Abdullah Mason just a couple of fights back when he got dropped a couple of times in the first round. Floyd Scorfield got dropped too a couple of fights. So we see young fighters make those mistakes early on. They'll learn from that. Gabriel Perot, who you like between Shiraz and Berlanga? I got Shiraz winning that fight, man. I know that Berlanga, I respect Berlanga. I know he can fight, but I don't know how. I honestly don't know how good Berlanga is. Based on his performance against Canelo and a couple of previous performances where he didn't look that good, for Berlanga to make me a believer, he has to beat Shiraz. I think Shiraz is going to win this fight. The official Pablo, do you think Crawford would get a belt at 160? Um, I don't know if he would even attempt. Honestly, it's very hard for me to speculate because I know his focus obviously is on Canelo Alvarez at 168. I don't know, I don't know how he's gonna proceed after that. Is he gonna try to drop down the whole two division for his very next fight? Is he gonna fight at a patch weight? What is he gonna do? So it's really hard to speculate. Jacob, Jahai Tucker got hit more than usual, but by it's still not by the big shots. I mean, it's like I said, man. He's a young fighter. He's still being developed. He's gonna be a star. Jahai Tucker is gonna be like, it's the inevitable. That's the way that I see it. Troy McGrady, yeah, I'm not denying that, but Truck is not an elite fighter, and he has 3 losses. I just think Jahai Tucker is not that special because he also was gassed in that fight too. So listen, man, I can't agree with you, and I'm gonna tell you why. I've watched and I followed Truck. He can fight. He's a very good fighter. Um, I don't measure fighters by how many losses they got. I watched the fights where he lost. I don't measure a fighter by losses. I measure a fighter by how I see them fight, how I see they can fight. And Truck is a very, very good fighter. If you want to say he's not an elite, you have to understand that that's an opinion. I respect your opinion. But he's a very good fighter and he's a very good win. And Jai Tucker, a young fighter, was able to pull that off. You gotta understand that there's a development process. We watch Abdullah Mason get dropped twice by a nobody. Dude that dropped Abdullah Mason twice, he a nobody. He dropped him. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, Abdullah Mason is not really all that because he got dropped twice. Nah, you see young fighter being developed. You're supposed to make mistakes at that stage. You're supposed to expect it. It's gonna happen. Jacob Crawford versus Lara would be the fight at 160. Now I don't think that's the fight to make, simply because number one, Lara has a secondary title. I think it's a secondary title. That shit is a trinket. But the reason I say that's not the fight is because Lara, what is he right now? 42 years old? 43? Crawford is not gonna get no credit for that win. None. None. Crawford is gonna beat Lara, and he already knows. Just like I know, just like you know. That's one of those wins when people gonna say, "Oh yeah, but he beat a wash Lara. He beat a wash Lara." That's what they're gonna say. That he beat a wash Lara. That, don't you see that they say he beat a wash Porter, and Porter is younger than him? Porter is younger than Crawford, but they say he beat a wash Porter. So if he beat a wash Porter when Porter was like 34 years old, imagine if he beat a 40-some-year-old Lara. What they gonna say? That's the reality. That's the reality. Tracy McGrady, he can fight, but answer this: is he elite in your eyes? Is he elite in my eyes? Truck. I would say he a top level fighter. Maybe I would have put him. I would have put him amongst the elite, but I would put him at a high level. I say Truck is a type of fighter who he can fight his way and be ranked into the top 10 of all sanctioning bodies. So there's levels to boxing. He's multiple levels up. The average Joe is gonna get it and get beat up by Truck. He's not average. He's not an average Joe. He's gonna. I guarantee you that you're gonna see Truck fight for a title. You're gonna see him fight and win title eliminators and fight for a title because that's how good he is. The official Pablo. I don't like Canelo because he acts like he has a choice not to fight Benavidez while holding all the belts. Do you agree with the saying? He has the right to choose, or he earned the right to choose. I don't. So I agree 100% with earning the right to choose, and I'm going to tell you why. Boxing is a tough sport. Boxing is the hurting business. You could die in boxing. You could get killed in the ring. You could die right after a fight, like we saw a few days ago. So when you had a career where you beat a bunch of world champions, when you were at the top of multiple weight divisions, when you became one of the most accomplished fighters in the sport, when you're at the tail end of your career, you definitely have the right to choose. You earn that right, 100%. And that's not just in boxing, my G. That's in every sport. If you see in baseball, a basketball player, if he gave 15 years to a team and they losing every year, and he said, "Yo, trade me to a championship team so I could try to win a W over there, win a ring." They'll trade him over there because he gave him all them years. You see it in baseball, you see it in basketball, you see it in other sports. You dedicated all these years. Come on now. So Canelo dedicated all these years to boxing. Contributed a lot to the sweet science. He earned the right. You don't have to. Once you accomplish so much, you don't have to, at the end of your career, fight all of the very best. Just look at it like this. Right now, Floyd Mayweather is recognized widely as the greatest of all time. Who was Floyd Mayweather's last two opponents? Andre Berto and Conor McGregor. That's how he got wins 49 and 50 versus Andre Berto and a fighter with a professional record of 0-0-0. I don't even know how the hell a sanctioning body sanctioned that shit. Yo, only in Vegas. I think only in Vegas in the whole world can you sanction a fight between a fighter making his pro debut and a fighter with a record of 49-0. JJ Zendejas. Hello, J Smith. I'm here. Let's go. Hit the like button. Appreciate it, my brother. The official Pablo. All Canelo earned is the right to retire, not to not fight the next in line. That's the problem. You can make that argument if you want, but Benavidez is not even in his same division anymore. It's not even in the same line. So how much longer can you make that argument? Canelo's reigning at 168, Benavidez is reigning at 175. They're not in the same division. I know you heard about him not fighting Benavidez, but they're not in the same division, the official Pablo. So Benavidez is not the next in line. Well, what are you arguing about? But in reality, all you're doing is venting. I feel bad. I gotta vent my frustration. You're just venting. They're not in the same weight class. It's not even a conversation to be had. They can't fight right now. JJ's in the house. Mason wins. Good fireworks fight. Yeah, I believe is it Sam Noki's Sam Noakes, something like that. The name of his opponent. I believe that Abdullah Mason, is one of these young fighters who's very special. Is gonna win his first title, and he'll go on to accomplish a lot of big things. I expect Abdullah to do a lot in boxing. Troy McGray, I believe that what you say about Truck is valid, but he was forced of none this far, except for Jihad. Let's see what happens. Let's see, but I believe Truck is going to have a good boxing career. I believe he's going to be one of those guys who's able to fight at that level. Sammy Chiba, big bro, I would love to see you make a boxing documentary. I mean, there's a lot of things, my brother, that I have planned in mind when it comes to boxing. You're going to see a lot from it. It's not just about the live, it's about a lot of boxing content that I'm working on. And I'm sure that you guys are gonna enjoy it. The way that I cover boxing, from that insider's perspective, giving you that behind the scenes, giving you a certain point of view. I promise you, you're gonna see a lot of boxing stuff from me. Whether it's a documentary, whether it's even a short film. I'm even documenting my people's my own my own journey, so that you guys can see how I go from having an idea of creating Box Center to to starting to go live for the first time, to people not even wanting to pay attention, thinking, who is this guy? This guy coming out of nowhere. He doesn't know shit about boxing. So my whole journey, I'm also documenting it so you guys can see, the whole process. From people saying that I'm never gonna make it anywhere. Nobody's ever gonna listen or watch my content. To those same people apologizing and saying, "Yo, Jay, I like what you're doing. I know you're gonna make it. I know you're gonna be big." So I want you guys to see this whole journey, how it plays out. Um, Troy McRae. Now, did Floyd get his 50th win against that young Japanese kid that was undefeated? Well, Troy McRae, let me educate you. Let me school you. You're talking to the human algorithm, aka Jay Stradamus. The Japanese kid was actually an exhibition fight. That was not a real fight. Floyd Mayweather reached his 50th win versus Conor McGregor, a fighter with a record of 0-0-0. Now, all you have to do is don't take my word for it. Google Floyd Mayweather's box record. My people, my bad about the audio, man. I'm doing the best I can. Let me try some. I'm trying the best I can with the microphone, man, but it's killing me out here. Let me know if the audio is any better. I did, my people's already order a brand new microphone, but it's Amazon. I gotta wait. The audio isn't bad on my phone. Alright. Um, but again, my peoples, Troy McRae, Google Floyd Mayweather's box rec, and you see that his last official professional fight was versus Conor McGregor. Troy McRae, oh, okay. I was just asking because I wasn't sure, my brother. I got you, my G. I wanted to make sure that you're aware. So that's what I mean by fighters at the end of their career. Look who Floyd fought. He fought a guy like Andre Berger, who was never pound for pound, who was never, you know. And I don't know if you're aware, Troy McRae. I don't know how old are you if you were following boxing at that time. Do you know who was Floyd Mayweather's mandatory when he chose to fight? Andre Berger and then and then Conor McGregor. Floyd Mayweather's mandatory was a young, hungry, undefeated lion, Keith Thurman. Okay, so you've been watching boxing long enough. There you have it. Think about that. Floyd Mayweather, his mandatory was Keith Thurman, young, hungry lion. Floyd Mayweather, late 30s. What he chose to do? Andre Berto, Conor McGregor, and retired. Boom. See? So today, we still recognize Floyd as one of the greatest. We're not using that against him. We're not saying that he's a joke to boxing because he fought an MMA fighter for his last professional fight. He's simply known as the greatest. We respect Floyd Mayweather because he got all of those accomplishments. So it's the same thing with Canelo Alvarez. Look how many divisions he's conquered, how many times he's already been undisputed, how many champions he beat, how many Hall of Famers he beat. So the fact that he doesn't fight one fighter doesn't say, oh, he's a joke to boxing and his whole career is ruined. No, that's just one fight. And I personally gave him a pass for not fighting a much bigger opponent that I felt like Benavidez would have knocked him out. I said it. If he would have fought David Benavidez, I would have had Benavidez knocking him out. Come on now. Like I said, the official Pablo, you're right, but they're not in the same weight class. How long can you keep bringing that up? Think about this, the official Pablo, and this is my point. If Canelo's at 168 and Benavidez is at 175, and they're not in the same weight class no more. If Canelo fights, let's say for another 3 years, are you gonna bring that up before every Canelo fight? That he didn't fight Benavidez? Are you always gonna bring that up? At one point you gotta be done with it. Like, okay, he didn't fight Benavidez, it was disappointing, but are you gonna rehash that he didn't fight Benavidez for the rest of his career when they're not even in the same weight class anymore? I look, I wanted Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez as much as you. I wanted that fight bad. But when I realized that Canelo wasn't gonna fight Benavidez, I was like, that's it, whatever. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I accepted that the fight is not happening. I accepted it. You haven't accepted it, my brother, because you keep bringing it up. Like, yo, look, Benavidez went to 175, already fought at 175, is gonna fight again at 175. Canelo's gonna fight for a title at 168, and you still talking about Canelo and Benavidez, bro? Like, you gotta let that go, my guy. I understand you didn't like it, but are you gonna bring it up for the rest of his career? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Dry turkey. Canelo didn't want it at 168, and Bivol doesn't want it at 175. Benavidez can't catch a break. No, no. It's not that Bivol doesn't want it at 175. That was His Excellency Turkey Al-Awshi. Bivol would have fought him. His Excellency Turkey Al-Awshi, wanting to control everybody, wanting to force everybody to do what he wants. I don't even want to say anything about that. The official Pablo, that's the thing, though. Canelo isn't good for that. He retired years ago. The official Pablo, when you say that he retired years ago, that doesn't have anything to do with the fact he's fighting right now. They're not in the same weight class. What are you talking about retiring? They not in the same weight class. You gotta move on from that. You gotta find a different thing that you can use to hate on Canelo, bro. You said, but we stayed on it. We stayed on it because you keep bringing it up. Like, I've moved away from that like 3 times already. You're like, yeah, but he didn't fight Benavidez. But he didn't fight Benavidez. Like I said, we gotta move on. Canelo's not gonna fight Benavidez. Some people like it. Some people don't. It's all respect. If you don't like it, I give him a pass. Benavidez a huge giant in front of little ass Canelo. You was behind on the chat, man. I'm sorry. I noticed that, man. You know what? I'm gonna also do this. I'm gonna have a phone in my hand so that I could be watching the chat live instead of seeing it late over here. I'm gonna start doing that. But I was just answering your question and stayed on the official power. I got you, my boy. We're having fun. We're having a fun conversation anyway. Dry turkey. Berlanga was huge, Jay Smith. He rehydrated close to 200 pounds. It doesn't matter. He still, I don't like the way that he performed. I don't like the, he looked like he was there to survive against Canelo. He looked like he wasn't there to win. That's what I got from that fight. My peoples, I'm about to end this live, but before I do, as always, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. Dry Turkey, the official Pablo. Um, JJ's in there, house was in the building. My brother John Parham, Sammy Chiba, Hash Bass, J. Cole, the official Pablo, Gabriel Pulroy, Troy McRae, Maker, and everybody underrated Will, and everybody else who tuned in. My people, I always appreciate it. You guys come through, we have these conversations, and it's always a good time. Y'all already know what it is, my people. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Eastern Time, don't miss out on the next episode of Boxing for Breakfast. My people, every morning it's been on fire up in here. If you haven't seen it, the morning times are lit. This is the best morning boxing show out, period. No getting around it. Don't miss it, starting at 6 a.m. Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of wait a minute. Your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. I'm Jay Smith. This is Box Center, your favorite boxing show. Troy McRae, the official Pablo, Dry Turkey, and everybody else who tuned in, my peoples, I really appreciate it, man. I really do. Want to get chopped up on what up, son? We'll get together the next time, my G. I'm out of here. Don't miss out on Boxing for Breakfast starting tomorrow at 6 in the morning. Don't miss it, my people. Yo, salute to everybody. One love. JJ Sendejas. You know you my G, my people. You family. I'm out of here, my peoples.